This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Today on SSPTV News, we remember the Latimer Massacre. That story and more next. Hello everyone, I'm Ken Karen. I thank you for your time. Let's get to your local information. The Latimer Massacre occurred on this day 124 years ago. This tragic event is the subject of today's news feature as Lisa Sugar takes a look back on our area's past and talks about an upcoming memorial at the massacre site.
The Greater Hazleton area will come together once again, as it has in years past, to remember a horrific event in our area's history. I'm referring to the Latimer Massacre, which happened back on September 10th, 1897. I'm very pleased to be joined today by Father Anthony Generos, who is pastor of Most Precious Blood and Queen of Heaven parishes in Hazleton. He is also a member of the Hazleton Ministerium Association, which is hosting the memorial event, and also a native of Latimer Mines. Father Generos, thanks so much for being here. For those who are not familiar with the Latimer Massacre, take us back to then on what happened back on that date that we remember all these years later.
Thank you, Lisa, for this opportunity. September 10th, 1897 was the culmination of a lot of foment in the coal regions and the movement toward justice and labor management issues in the local collieries. It happened in Latimer Mines largely because there was a connection between Latimer Mines and the Harwood Colliery in terms of its ownership. And because of what was going on in the mines at the time, namely this need to protect their children who were working in the mines from being unjustly imposed upon in regard to their duties, about 400 miners from Harwood marched peacefully from Harwood over to the Latimer mines, being met occasionally by the sheriff of Luzerne County, who was in the area because of smaller incidents occurring. But knowing that this was going to be something of a large gathering of people, peaceful as it was determined that he should deputize some people and have something of a posse with him. They met together at the entrance to Latimer Mines, just about the area where the monument stands today. And as I understand it, I don't think that there was any intention for the kind of harm that was done that day on anyone's part, but the sheriff went out to meet one of the leaders of the group, and whatever happened, one gunshot seems to have led into volleys. And what occurred was the death of 19 miners and twice as many wounded that day.
That's horrible. And I know so many people see the monument there on a regular basis. Now, you will be gathering at the monument. The anniversary of the massacre is actually September 10th, but you will be gathering on September 19th, a Sunday at 3 p.m. at that site to remember what happened that day. Why is it important for you to gather there?
Well, I don't know who it was that said if we fail to know our history, we're doomed to live it over again. But living in community as we do, there's always a justice issue that presents itself. I think that the kinds of justice issues that occur in labor management continue to exist. We're by far, not where we should be in those matters, but also to recognize with compassion not only those who were affected by the terrible deaths and the woundings, but also to remember those people who probably, in my estimation, without any intention, pulled the trigger that day, and their families and their descendants. And there are people who still live today who are the descendants of those people from September 10th, 1897.
That's amazing. I didn't realize that. And you yourself, a native of that area. So I'm sure you learned about this growing up, as we all did.
I was a young boy, a young altar server for Father Joseph Ferrer. I believe that monument was established in the early 1970s by the United Mine Workers, and Father Joe was instrumental in having a mass on that day on that location, and that kind of went into desuetude in later years. But when I came back to the area as pastor of Queen of Heaven Parish and got involved with the ministerium, because obviously those people were not all Catholic, I thought it would be a great idea to gather the leaders of different faiths in the area to come and remember this occasion, because justice is for one and for all.
Today's news feature is brought to you by The Cheese Store and more. Go to their Facebook page to see their specials and check out their catering menu.
Time now for weather on SSPTV News.
Here's our forecast from the National Weather Service on Saturday. Sunny with a high near 70 degrees. Saturday night mostly clear with a low in the 50s. Sunday mostly sunny with a high in the 70s. Sunday night mostly clear with a low around 60 degrees. Monday a chance of showers, mostly sunny with a high in the 70s. Monday night a chance of showers, partly cloudy with a low in the 50s. And then on Tuesday mostly sunny with a high in the 70s. We have some games moving around in week 3 of high school football, so pay attention. Here's the schedule. 2 Friday night games have been postponed. Northern Lehigh at Tamaqua will kick off on Monday at 7 p.m. and the Minersville at Shenandoah Valley game will now be played Sunday at 5 p.m. Tonight, Hazelton area travels to Berwick looking for their first win. North Schuylkill is 2-0 and they host Jim Thorpe. Hamburg is at Monoy area and Marion plays at Catasauqua. StandardSpeaker.com is your place for previews and game recaps for our local high school football teams. The Hazelton Area High School boys golf team is 5-0 after a win over Crestwood. This is the SSPTV Standard Speaker scoreboard. The Cougars' Jacob Palermo and Crestwood's Owen Blazik both shot 37s in 9 holes of play. Connor Mateo had a 38 for Hazelton, Jonathan Joseph hit a 40, and Jake Babinchak shot a 42. Monoy area got a golf victory over Tamaqua in 18 holes. Luke Matta scored a 74 for the Golden Bears. In girls volleyball, Marion edged Notre Dame Green Pond. The Phillies came back after losing the first 2 sets. Ashlyn Klitsch had 37 assists for Marion, and Lauren Raymond had 24 digs and 7 aces. Coming up in sports, Taylor Dean grew up figure skating in our area. Now she's working for U.S. Figure Skating and getting ready to help them out during the Olympics. We'll talk with her in just a bit.
This weekend, the Freeland Marketplace is going back to the 1940s and World War II years. For a full list of events taking place, or for more information, you are asked to visit WW2 Weekend at the Freeland Marketplace on Facebook. SSPTV News would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Norma Ann Hines, age 78, of Drums, who passed away on August 1st. A memorial service will be held on Saturday at 1:45 p.m. at St. Paul's United Methodist Church in Drums. Friends may call on Saturday from 1 o'clock until 1:45 p.m. at the church. The Crotty News Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. And George A. Skiba, age 95, of McAdoo. Mass will be held on Tuesday at 10 a.m. at Church of St. Joseph. Friends may call on Tuesday from 9 to 10 a.m. at the church. The Damiano Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements.
Tonight's obituaries are being brought to you in part by Harmon Funeral Homes and Crematory, with 2 locations in Rockland and in Drums, 570-384-3312 or 570-788-0977, and go to harmonfuneral.com.